In the last few years in this country, it's been appealing for some people to call journalists the enemy of the people. And, I think it's illuminating to look at who takes that sentiment to the next level and actually kills journalists. It's illuminating to consider who if you believe that, who you're in bed with. You are in bed with Vladimir Putin, with Saudi Arabia, it's with ISIS.
That was famed war correspondent, author, and documentarian, also now the founder of Reporters Instructed in Saving Colleagues, Sebastian Junger, on this program earlier this week on the importance of protecting journalists everywhere, but especially those working in dangerous regions of conflict throughout the world. Most recently in Ukraine, where these images like these every single day are only possible to be witnessed by the world because of the journalists we depend on to know what's happening in Putin's brutal war in Ukraine and broader assault on democracy, on civilians, and on freedom of that information. Journalist Brian Karem writes this, explaining why he's decided to travel to Ukraine today and add to that brave body of journalists telling the story there. Journalism that could help end a war. Journalism that could help save democracy in this country. Quote, Putin's regime has murdered reporters while sowing seeds of distrust worldwide. And Donald Trump wanted to be just like him. It was reporters who pushed back against Trump, sometimes in the briefing room, and it was reporting that, despite all the threats and all the intimidation, helped to break the back of our American oppressor. Joining us now is the author of that piece of reporting, Brian Karem, a writer for Salon. He just crossed the border into Lviv, Ukraine, as he makes his way from Warsaw, Poland, to Kyiv. Ambassador McFaul is still with us as well. Brian, tell us about the decision to go cover the war in Ukraine.
Well, it wasn't really a decision that was hard to make. We sit in the White House briefing room quite often asking questions, and we need to get out of there and go ask questions and show people what's really going on. The greatest thing you can do as a reporter is to not pontificate, is to not give your opinion, but to just show people what's going on. The pictures that you see, the things that you witness, the things as a disinterested third-party observer who's not a part of it but makes themselves a part of it to show other people what's going on, that has a value. And if in some small way you can help contribute to the value of knowledge on the planet, I think that's a good thing to do. And that's what drove me to be here. And that's why I'm talking to you now.
Brian, you write this in your great piece today. As long as humankind continues its inhumanity against itself, reporters will be there to chronicle the events. It is inevitable. They will be unarmed. They will carry notepads, pens, cameras, laptops, cell phones, and microphones. They will continue to put themselves in harm's way for one simple reason. We need to know. That's why I'm going to Ukraine. You must know already, in this 22-day war in Ukraine, journalists have already been targeted. 2 Fox News crew members have lost their lives. Another remains hospitalized. Brent Renaud has lost his life. I mean, what's on your mind? Are you scared?
Well, yeah, sure. I would be an idiot if I weren't, but that doesn't keep you from doing your job. That's what we're here to do. That's what you have to do. We need more reporters out in the field. We need to defeat propaganda with facts, and you can't do it sitting on your butt in the White House. If I could, I would. But the simple fact of the matter is that there are facts out there that people need to see. Just driving here today from Warsaw and talking with people and seeing just the fear that they have to live here. They have to go through this. And to have the propaganda that's being spread by Putin being, swallowed by people, that's a very compelling reason to be here. And to speak to what the ambassador said earlier and to what your other guest was talking about, there is a problem with this. There is a huge problem with propaganda. And to push back against that, you need people here who know how to do the job and can do it. And, I say that Facebook and social media this is the first social media war. Some of the pushback in this particular war has been because of social media. So that's a good thing. But you can't forget that there are people, trained observers, that do this. They need to be here. They need to show people what's going on, and they need to enlighten the world as to what's going on right now in Ukraine. And it's a desperate time, and these are desperate times. So if I sat out on this, I don't think my wife would like me very much, although she worries about me now. But, you know, I don't think I could sit still and not be here.
It's just incredible. And Ambassador McFaul, I wonder if you can speak to, sort of from your sources in Ukraine and inside Russia, how much of the truth of what Brian is there to show the world will get out, will make it into Russia?
Well, first, I just want to applaud all journalists, American, Ukrainian, Ukrainians, many of our friends of mine, people that have gone through my institute and training programs. And we have, I think, probably 25 journalists that have gone through our training programs over the last 15 years who are reporting from Ukraine. And without their bravery, including our network too, Nicole, let's not forget them, some incredible reporting, bringing this story to the world. And it is important. I think Zelensky himself understands why it's important. That's why he used his address to Congress to show reporting, right? To show pictures of what's going on. It's not getting into Russia, as we talked about, in the ways we would like, but it is incumbent upon all of us, including Ukrainian reporters that I deal with on a regular basis, to try to get those messages in through different ways, because ultimately we need Russians to understand what's going on here so that they will put pressure on their government to stop this war.
So, Brian, you're there, your eyes and ears. Tell us what you've seen so far.
Well, so far coming up here, I've seen some very nervous people. There were missiles that landed outside of Lviv before I got here this morning. So I spent a lot of time with police today, actually checking to make sure that everybody that was on the road, including me, were legit and on the up and up on what they were doing. I have been to 12 different conflict zones, and each one is different. This is as serious as I've ever seen a conflict zone. It's as serious as it gets. And to the ambassador's point, yeah, it's hard getting into Russia, but you know what? It's numbers. We got to get more people. We got to get more people on it. We have to show the world. And if we don't, there's no hope. So I have a lot of hope. And I see resiliency in the Ukrainian people. And also what I saw today was, in addition to the fear, still that resiliency. And it goes back to Zelensky saying he didn't need a ride out of town. He needed ammunition. That's inspired a lot of people. And I mean, there are a lot of nationals not from Ukraine. The international community has responded, and I've seen that all day long today with people coming in through Warsaw, trying to provide services and trying to provide goods to the people in Ukraine and manpower.